Everyone, it's Marty Bostic here. I will give you folks just a couple of minutes while I'm getting the streams active and receiving data for the broadcast here. We'll begin in just a moment. Okay, folks, I hope everybody is doing fantastic today. Today is April the 3rd, 2020. Hard to believe already. I wanted to do a broadcast today to try and help you stay on track being productive. Doesn't matter what your niche is, your occupation. You could be a doctor, lawyer, mechanic, marketer, whatever the case may be. This productivity system is something that I use on almost a daily basis. I won't say I do it every day because life gets in the way, and I understand that. But I have something to go back to pick up where I left off to get myself back on track. And it works very well. I've been using it for years. And one of the questions I get regularly from people is, how do I get the things done that I do every day? How do I manage to get all these marketing tasks done and do my day job and do stuff around the house? Well, it starts early in the morning for me because I get things ready. Sometimes I do it the next morning, but I try and get this ready when I end my day, before I step outside my office, before I get back into the world. I try and prepare things for the next day. And I can't always do the best job of it, but I do find that this keeps me on track pretty well. And it will work for you too. It really does not matter what you do, okay? Whatever you do, if you'll follow this very, very simple system, you're going to be freaking amazed at how productive you're going to be, okay? So we're going to dive right into it in just a minute. Let me go ahead and ask you real quickly. Do you think you could fill in some boxes? Like 2 sheets of these every day? I mean, do you really think you could fill something in in these quadrants? Can you do 2 of those sheets every day? I mean, that's all it takes. That's all it takes to put this in motion. So I did not invent this system. It's been around for some time, but I've tweaked it and modified it to work to my means, and I've taught others how to do the same thing, and they've been productive as well. And it's helped them kind of get unstuck and get back into the motion of doing things properly, where they can get this on track and make it work for them. Okay, so let's talk about what it is and what we're trying to accomplish here. So, the whole lizard brain thing, you're always trying to follow some path over here. Your brain is always fixating on something that you need to be doing, and it needs that completion. It's always looking for that completion. It's looking for that next thing that you've got to do. So you hear me talk about micro tasks and goals and milestones regularly. That's because they're important. That sense of accomplishment and completion that your brain wants, you're going to find that you're going to be able to do that with a system very easily, okay? Now, you may be thinking, okay, I'm at home right now, I'm locked down, or I've got some time, I can put a few hours into this. Don't do that. Do not put hours into this. Put 20 minutes per task into this. You're going to set a timer for yourself. I don't care what you got to do. You can go to Google and set a timer. You can do a stopwatch. You can do your phone, whatever you want to do. But essentially, here's what's going to happen. You're going to take the 4 most important tasks to you. Now, I don't mean 10. I don't mean 2. I don't mean 1. I mean 4. If you've got a task that's really important that you think is going to have to take longer than 20 minutes, write it in 2 boxes. Okay? But every day, you're going to take one of these sheets. The first quadrant sheet is going to be the most important 4 tasks every day. It's going to be in this first sheet. The other sheet is going to be everything, your next important 4 tasks, but they're not as important as the first 4. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take those 4 most important tasks and put them in the boxes in the first quadrant. So you're going to come over here and use these to list those tasks. You're going to put a 20-minute deadline. Okay? You're going to assign it a 20-minute deadline. That's what you're going to focus on. Then you're going to take the next 4 tasks, like I was saying, the next most important ones, and you're going to give them another 20 minutes. So you're only talking about 20 minutes to do these things, okay? You've got to do that, and I'll show you why here in just a moment, okay? So let's go ahead and jump over here. Before you do anything, when you get up, when you get out here, before you get your mind trained on other things in the world, you want to complete these tasks. You want to get them done. Get them out of the way, get them done. That's why I said 20 minutes. You want to get them done quickly, but effectively. So it's really cool because once you've done it, you can go about your day and do your other stuff, and you have that sense of completion and success. It doesn't sound like much when you're doing 20 minutes, but I broke that down for you right here, okay? For the next week, for the next 7 days, that's 56 priority tasks that you have done. So maybe on Sunday you've got your 4. The next day you got your 4. The next day you got your 4. At the end of 7 days, that's a heck of a lot of stuff you got done. That's a whole lot of stuff you've gotten done. Look at it for a month. You do it for 30 days. That is 240 steps closer to what your goals are. So imagine if you spent that 40 minutes doing this, and you've got 20 on your primary tasks, 20 on the secondary. If you can't get to the secondary ones, it's okay. If you've only got the 20 minutes, it's all right, because what you're going to do, you got to finish the first quadrant first. Okay, you got to do that first sheet. But that second 20 minutes, make that tomorrow's priority task. Just don't let it slip. Make sure you note those things and you do them. And I put this up here kiddingly, but I'm serious. Fixing your website header is not a priority. That's not something that's going to move you forward. It's not something that's life-changing. It's not a priority task. It may be something you want to get done, but it doesn't need to go in these boxes. And what I mean by that is make them meaningful tasks toward what your goal is, okay? Like I said, it doesn't matter what your occupation is. It doesn't matter what you do. Make sure it's relevant to what you do every day or what you're trying to achieve. For me, I'm trying to keep my marketing going forward. I'm trying to push that forward, build that independence, that freedom, and do that every day. But it takes wheels turning. It takes the wheels of the world moving along to get these things done. So I'm going to give you a few examples of things I do that are marketing tasks. Okay, one thing that is pretty much on my plate every day is writing an email. Now I've gotten to where I can write most emails. If it's one, it might take me a little bit more work. So maybe 2 of my tasks actually get consumed as one email, but I use that email every day as content, and I use it in a variety of ways. So those first 2 boxes a lot of times end up being, these first 2 right here end up being an email that I'm writing for the day. But I get to reuse that email, I get to make it other things, and it's highly important to me. I can't write an email every day. I try, but I can't always do it. So there's times where another task that I have to do every day is respond to people that interact with me through the emails that I write. So I make sure that in one of these quadrants, I've got response time where I'll sit there and craft a response to somebody. I can't always respond to everybody every day, but I will go ahead and knock a few of those out while I'm at it and get that out of the way and done. And I do it within that time frame. Sorry, I got YouTube alerts going off. Oh my God. Okay. So the next thing I do, one of my tasks that I'll do is I will go make sure that core money websites are functional. I don't do it every day, but I'll make sure I'll spot check it a couple of times a week. And I might make that my secondary task that I go check, but I make sure that I check for things and make sure they're working. A lot of times you take for granted you got stuff working. I found the other day, I had a freaking rotator set up to go to some really solid sites that I thought I had functional, only to find out I let the domain names expire, so I had to go renew those. I had to go do that. But one of my tasks during that week was making sure that those money sites are working. If the money sites aren't working, you don't have money coming in. Okay, so from a marketing perspective, that was really important. Another one might be that I do a social media post for the day. Okay, a social media post that's relevant to move my business forward or to help someone. And I do that. So I put that in these tasks. Sometimes that might be my secondary priority. It might not be my primary one. But I always try and fit these within these boxes so that I can keep doing it. Now, the next day may not be the same thing. The next day may be something totally different. The next day may be that I go create a video and put it on YouTube. So that will be one of my tasks that I do over here. If it's like a Content Samurai video, maybe a video sales letter, can I knock that out in 20 minutes? Yeah, but I'll have to use up all 4 of these boxes, but that's the biggest, most important task for that day because I needed to keep that going. If I didn't get finished with it, I will put that off to the next day to finish it, but it has to be a quality product to complete that task. But the tasks always get listed in these boxes. Okay, so if you think a task is going to take longer than 20 minutes, give that the 2 boxes like I was talking about, okay? Use these timers on the tasks, okay? Do the timers to make sure that you can complete these things. And when you do, you'll find that you've done that, you've done it well, and you've allocated that time. Now, I have it listed here, 20-minute timers to each task. It's not realistic to have that much time allocated each day to what you're doing to each task. I actually make the 20-minute timers for my entire quadrant. So the high priority stuff and then the second priority stuff. If I can get back to it before the end of the day, I'll knock out that secondary one, but the first quadrant is always the most important to me. So I'll knock it out and I'll allocate that 20 minutes. Do I spend more than 20 minutes a day on my marketing? I do. Do I spend more than 20 minutes a day on the priority stuff? I do, but not the things that I have listed in this box necessarily. I don't let that get in the way. I have to complete these tasks. I've got to get these things knocked out. So I keep it focused, I keep it reined in, and only do those things within that time frame. Use a timer. Help yourself so you don't sit there and go, okay, I'm going to work 20 minutes on this, and the next thing you realize 2 hours have gone by. Use the timer. It helps you, okay? You don't say you can't find a timer. You can go to Google and tell it to set you a timer. You can have the Amazon device. Good example. Alexa, set me a 20-minute timer.
20 minutes, starting now.
Okay? It's that simple. Only assign tasks to the quadrants that move your business forward. Okay? So, do the things that matter. Do the things that are going to propel you forward in what you do every day. So, over here on the weekends or on days when something comes up that throws you off kilter, you can settle for completing one quadrant. So make sure the one quadrant is the most important priority stuff. But make sure that one quadrant is this one, not the secondary one, okay? And you can get the other one done the next morning. Just don't try and cram it all in that day. Weekends are crazy for me. If I don't get up early, I don't have time to get this stuff done. So, always aim to complete both quadrants. If you can complete just one on some days, it needs to be marked down as a successful day. So I agree with that. I do try and stick by that. That's why it's called a dual quadrant system, because that one, if you've gotten that one out of the 2 done, where the high priority stuff is done first and the other didn't get done for the day, it's still successful. You've still done it. You've completed it. And you can move on. And that's it. You just rinse and repeat this process every day. And I'm telling you, just try it for a week. Just try it for a week and go out here and go print yourself about a month's worth of these, okay? So I put this together. Actually, I put this together using Kim Blutman's Low Content Creator. But there's 100 pages of these in there. It's a PDF. You can choose how many pages you want. But just go print yourself out a month worth of them. And just have them sitting by where you can sit there and you can write these out in these quadrants. And just make sure you do it. And I find that the exercise of actually writing it down on the paper helps. It does. It helps me focus because I'm writing it. I have to think about what I'm writing. I'm not looking at the computer. I'm not looking at anything else. There's still some old school traditional things that stand tried and true. Okay? So I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear some comments and questions and interact with you and help you with this. I've actually got, you should see a link here. Let me make sure this showed up. If not, I'll put it in the description. I've got you a zip file shared on Google Drive that's got this PDF for you to go through, and then it's got the PDF where you can go print out the quadrants, okay? So remember, you need 2 per day. You want to print it, so when you are getting ready to print some of these for the month, so if there's 30 days in a month, you want to print 60 of these, okay? But just print out a good many of them. You always go back and do them later. Just make sure you got some. Let's go ahead and make sure that link showed up in the comment real quickly. Get somebody waiting on me to help them here. Give me just a moment. Let me tell Clive hi. That real quickly. I don't want to do that. Okay. All right, I'll go back and answer comments in a minute. Anyway, I'll make sure that in the description this is put in here. So if you're seeing this on YouTube or Periscope, I'll make sure that the links are in there. You guys can get back to this and find the stream, and you'll be able to get to that and download it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Again, leave me some comments and questions. I'll be glad to try and help you if I can. This is a very simple system. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't turn it into some ungodly Rube Goldberg mousetrap that you'll never succeed at. Use these every day. Try the dang thing out for a week. If you like it, then do it for 30 days. Do it for the whole month and watch where you get to, okay? So get in there and do it. If you have the time, now let me back up for just a minute. If you have the time, especially right now where you might be locked down, you might be at home, you might have more time on your hands, if you can do 20-minute timers for each task instead of the whole quadrant, do it. Go ahead and do that. Make that, since you know you have that time, make that your goal where you've got 20 minutes for each of these, okay? If you can do that, do it. That's great. Just don't try and cram it all in and feel like you didn't succeed if you didn't get done with it. That's why I went for 20 minutes on these things, because I've got so much going. I can't put in 20, 20, 20, 20 every day. So I do 20 for those high priority items, and then I move on, okay? So if you can put that 20 in there, and then you can put the 20 in there to do it again for your secondary tasks, by all means do it. I would tell you, do the high priority ones first, then take a break. Do these later. Don't try and just sit there and just beat the crap out of everything and do it all at once. You'll get burnt out, okay? So keep it simple, keep it realistic, and focus on it. And you guys take care. I hope this helps you in some way. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to do another one. I'm going to show you some other, I'm going to show you how to do one thing for 30 days. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And what you're going to get out of that after 30 days is going to blow your mind, okay? So you guys take care. I will see you at the top.